is YFM.
Allow me to introduce my guest for today. She's a development communicator with 25 years work experience. She's worked as a corporate communications person for two of Ghana's most recognized and awarded institutions, Jospong group of companies, overseeing 60 companies, including the largest waste management company in Ghana and West Africa, the UT. And then, of course, the UT Group, a holding company with stakes in 6 different companies, including a bank now defunct and operating in Ghana, Nigeria, and then South Africa. She started her career as a journalist with the Ghana News Agency in the Volta region, where she rose to prominent position as senior reporter. She then later joined the British High Commission in Accra as a website editor. While at GNA, she doubled as a public relations consultant for Danida, sponsored Volta Region Community Water and Sanitation Program, while at the same time serving as the host of Women's Corner and Youth World programs on Volta Start Radio, a community radio station of GBC Ghana. She holds a master's in development communications from the Ghana Institute of Journalism, an MBA in development communications from the Ghana Institute of Journalism, an MBA in leadership and sustainability from the University of Cumbria, UK, a postgraduate diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, UK, and bachelor's degree in sociology and psychology from the Premier University of Ghana, and of course diploma in journalism from Ghana Institute of Journalism. Sophia is also accredited a member of the Institute of Public Relations, IPR Ghana, a member of the African Public Relations Association, International Public Relations Association, UK member of the Ghana Journalists Association, and for 5 years she was the governing council member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, that's CIMG. She's blessed a recipient of the Global Woman of Worth Achiever from the World Women Leadership Congress Awards 2020, PR Professional of the Year 2019, one of West Africa's top 20 marketing communication professionals back in 2019, named one of Ghana's top 10 women in public relations in 2019 and 2020, and most promising public relations practitioner in 2012. Madam Sophia Kudjordji is the acting chief corporate communications officer for Jospong group of companies and our honored guest on today's show. Guys, join me as we welcome Sophia to Leaderboard Series and of course YFM. I'd be very glad if we could take the mask off. Okay. It's going to distort the voice.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you, Riff.
I need to really say that Sophia sounds like a very busy and quiet person, but she's such a vibe. I mean, I'm using vibe. Vibe is our word. It's like the YFM word,
I know,
right? She's very calm. She showed up very early, by the way. On behalf of the team, we'd like to commend you.
Thank you so much.
That's a very good sight. I mean, and you look good. I like the outfit, the African print.
Thank you so much.
It looks almost as if you're always in African print.
I am. I love Africa. I am a very serious Afrocentric person. Yes, I love Africa. I love everything Africa.
How is your morning going?
Great. I feel blessed this morning, as always. I wake up in the morning. Once I can move my feet and my hands, it's good to go.
The attitude sets in. I mean, when you wake up, I tell my friends, when you wake up, just check all these things. Do like a cross-check. Can I move? Are my legs moving? Can I breathe well? Am I even seeing right? Can I smell?
Can I pee?
Can I pee? Very important. Can I pee? I mean, can I get rid of waste out of my body? If all these things are balanced, then you say thank you, God. Even if it's not balanced, you still say
yes. Thank you because you are alive.
You are alive.
And there is hope.
So let me find out from you. How do you feel when you? I know you're always on different platforms. Last week I think I watched you on TV. How do you feel when people read all these great accomplishments? All these things that you've accomplished, how do you feel? Don't you feel there are too many for you?
No, I'm nowhere near the final story, honestly.
We are not there yet.
No, not at all. I feel humbled when I hear this. But to be honest, it's just to put pressure to the younger ones in my house. I have a lot of young people in my house, nephews, cousins, children, and all that.
Give them pressure.
So this is to give them pressure, to let them know that, look, there is abounding possibilities. You carry more than you know. I mean, sometimes when they read some of these things, I sit back and I'm quiet and I'm asking, really? I did all that? You mean me?
I know, right?
But I don't see this as the end. I was telling somebody the other time that growing up, I used to tell myself, by the age of 45, I want to be called Professor Sophia Kudjordji.
Wow.
Yeah. I've disappointed myself. I'm 53 now, and I haven't started the process to become a professor.
I tell you what, you are a professor in real life.
Thank
Today
you.
you're here.
Thank you.
You know, you're here to share your real life story with people.
know.
You're about to teach life.
Oh, you know.
Oh, you'll be prof. I think maybe throughout the show I can even call you prof if you don't mind. The prof, it can be anything. It can be prophet, it can be professor. Once it's prof, it's prof.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule to spend time with us on Leaderboard Series.
It's such an honor to be here this morning. Trust me.
For the sake of all of us, eager to hear the story of Madame Sophia Kudjordji.
Yes.
Let's start off from your beginning. Which setting did you grow up in, and how was growing up like for you?
Okay, so thank you, and thanks for the opportunity to be here once again. I love the youth, so sharing my story is not difficult for me at all. People should know that human beings are made up of the totality of everything. The good, the bad, and the ugly all put together is what makes us who we are. Bible says all things work together for good. He didn't say all good things work together for good. He said all things work together for good. And so I was born to two police officers. My mom police, my dad police.
Wow.
I was born in Tamale because they were on transfer there, and I think there a lot of action happened because about 3 or 4 of us, we are 9. We've lost 2 of our siblings.
Sorry.
Yes. We are 9, but about 3 of us were born in Tamale. So I think that was the time my parents were together at the time, and left Tamale for Seshio. So they started, falling apart. My dad would go to Seshio, so my mom would be in Tema.
Police transfer.
Transfers, of Wase and all that. So growing up, my education was basically, so I went to Seshio, so LA Primary School.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. Then I went to Ofuase, LA, and then came to Kudjordji Experimental Junior Secondary School.
All this in your formative years. You switched schools.
Oh yeah. And it was like that for all of us, It
was a normal thing for you.
It was normal because my parents were being transferred every now and then, so you have to go along wherever you find yourself. So you could either be with my dad or with my mom at any point in time. But I was a very frail person, I must say. Almost when my dad is not there, I'll fall sick. When my mother is not there, I'll fall sick. But they had to.
They had to move about.
Yes. So that's how we grew up in a family like that. It wasn't a single spine police home. It was a normal police officers' home. We were just excited to see each other every morning. My father and my mother, hard working guys. My dad passed about 35 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, but we still think of him as if it happened just yesterday. And my mother would do anything.
Mom is still alive.
She is. Okay. 83-year-old, beautiful young lady.
Wow.
Accra.
Old police.
Yes. So you can imagine the discipline in the house. My father used to call him unenforceable laws.
Wow.
Yes. So, that's where I grew up from. Nothing extraordinary, just a normal home where we're blessed to have food in the morning, afternoon, evening, and that's it. But my father used to say that his parents took him to school to the standard 4 or standard 7 level. That's
teachers 1 or?
No. That they used to call it Form 4.
Form 4.
But he would take you to wherever you want to get to. So
wherever you want to get to.
So it means selling everything he has to move you to the next level. He would do it, but it all depends on you. And he was such a fun person to be with, full of humor. He makes fun out of everything. I tell stories about, for instance, going to write an exams as a primary school person. A new international school had come to where we were then as a Shioso.
Okay.
And then they said, we should go and try the exam. So we go write the exams. I come home, the results comes in, and my father was like, Nana, you know what? I'm very proud of you.
Wow.
And I was feeling good. And he said, the people said you were so good, they couldn't take you in the school. So let's go back to LA Primary School. And so I go back to LA Primary School feeling bam. I was like, yeah, Charlie, I know. I'm tough. My father says I'm good. I'm shut across. So then, in fact, I completed GIJ working before the idea dawned on me. And that time, my father had passed. I would have queried him. And I said, if I was that good and I could not go to class 4, why didn't they push me to class 5?
Yeah.
But I just went through life feeling good that,
And these were because he spoke to you with words that uplifted your spirit.
And that's my dad for you. My dad is the one that one day, I used to be a very sick person, as I mentioned earlier.
You mentioned,
Very frail. I mean, go to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Thursday, I'm sick. They're sending me home and all that. One day, I called my dad and I said, you know what? I think you have to stop paying my school fees because I'm wasting your money.
Wow.
And he looked me in the eyes and said, Nana, if I have to pay your school fees for you to go to school once in a year, I will do it because you're my graduate.
That's inspiring.
That is why you see all
these things.
Yes.
May his soul rest in
I'm not done
peace.
yet. I have to honor that man.
You said we're writing a book, an entire book for that, for achievements alone, and I'll be here. I'll be here to witness it. We'll definitely do that. Let me ask you,
yes, please.
Were you able to make friends growing up? Because this is you switching schools almost every time.
Yes.
Were you not afraid when you're making friends, feeling, okay, at some point I'll have to leave them?
You know, I feel bad because I meet people who said, we're mates, and I get excited that, somebody recognizes me. But we were this kind of close-knit family that we're friends with each other. We were playing at home. We don't bring... My mother will ask you, why are you going to visit somebody? Why don't they come to your house? So you were not allowed to go out to make friends. But we had schoolmates. Yes, we had friends from church and all that. We were church people. So we had friends from there, but we're not... this kind of tight thing that you feel bad that you're leaving your friend. No, I don't think any of my sisters and I have and brother have anybody who call like our best friend growing up. No,
you guys had just yourselves.
Yes, we had ourselves and we were very happy.
What are some of the most exciting things you remember about growing up, aside you writing exams and feeling like you overdid them so much that you had to come back to your school? I mean, what are some of the fondest memories you have of growing up?
So it's just a matter of being at home. We used to be in the same room, having fun, traveling from one place to the other, even though it was stressful for our education and all that. We also enjoyed the traveling around. So Sophia, once recently I went to Sophia when Jospong was doing the fumigation, disinfection exercise. I went there to take pictures in my old school. Was still looking good, But I remember my father taking us to the zoo. We used to go to the zoo.
Which region was that?
In Accra here.
In Accra,
At the time, my father had been posted to Flagstaff House. He used to house the police.
Yeah.
So for me, the Flagstaff House was the police, military.
The side that has the president now was housing the police.
No, there's the opposite side.
The opposite side, yes, the depot.
Yes, that's where we used to be. There was this police officer. He passed. Jack Blake. We used to be excited. He was riding Jack Blake. We were excited that
Was he part of the motorcade, the stunt guys?
He was part of the motorcade, and he was this
huge,
tall
right?
guy. You know that story. There was this thick, tall guy. In fact, all the kids in the area were just excited about Jack Blake.
Yeah.
Jack Blake is coming. Master, you have to go and line up.
Wow, beautiful memories.
So, yes, and then at home, my father and my mom would just make the house fun for you. There was not much, but there was always something to laugh about, something to be happy about. I remember when, is it 1982, when there was fire breakout and there was heavy, hunger, serious hunger in Ghana. My father used to farm in addition to the police work. So we were in Ho, he was in Ofuase. Then he would come, and the car that is bringing him to Ho, when he gets to the station, because of the things he's carrying, he has to beg them to bring him home.
Yeah.
When he comes home, we all go and hug him. And so even till today, I struggle not to hug because hugging is so much part of me.
Yeah.
And we go and hug him and all that. And it was just fun. I don't know which particular thing I would take out. But then the people are like, but these big girls, why are they hugging their father like that? And we're like, hey, allow us. Allow us. He's our dad. And my dad will do anything for you. Your things are dirty. He'll come and scold you. Why are the things dirty? You girls. Then he'll go and put it in water so that you go and wash it.
Go and soak it for you.
If you don't wash within 2 days, he will go and wash it himself.
Yes. Is it?
Yes. And my mother will ensure that there is so much discipline. You dare not talk to any elder without adding "sir" or "madam" or "mpacho." My mom is a crap. So imagine the combination.
Mpacho is like it's another part of. Even when they want to insult you.
You know, that's what people say.
Guys, Madam Sophia Kudjordji is in the building. Why Leaderboard Series? If you're streaming live with us on Facebook, kindly drop a like on there or share it. Share it to your friends. Let them see what's going on, man. We're inspiring ourselves this morning with her story. Now, at what point did you take over your life? I say take over your life. At what point did you realize, okay, I'm actually growing. I need to start making decisions. Was it senior high school level, JHS? What point?
After GIJ.
After GIJ?
Yes. Because, so I was in Maoli school. And shout out to my OMSU mates, and then Okwapman. Shout out to my Okwapman mates. Maoli school for O level, Okwapman for A levels.
Okay.
You know, so when I was going to Okwapman, in selecting my subjects, my mother had to approach somebody, because my mother also was a standard 7 or form 4 living person. But listen to that woman's impeccable English, you will fall in love with her. I'm telling you, she used to be a prosecutor at the courts, and the lawyers will ask her, "Madam, why did you do your law?" And she'll look at them and say, "Standard 4 law."
The basic one.
You know. No, but so my mother had to take me to a teacher to help me select my subjects. I did French literature government. Now I went to GIJ, and going to GIJ is another story altogether. After GIJ, after the exams, we were at the hostel. And I don't know what happened. One day I just woke up and I found myself thinking. I was like, what? Me?
It's almost as if you took someone's brain.
It was a shocker. Because I've lived my life with my parents, and you know, you have your, they're taking care of you, everything. Oh, Sisi will do this for you, Dada will do this for you. So, but then for the first time, I think I was 22 years. Yes. When I completed it, I was 22, 23. So I started thinking, and I was like, hey, so now we are done. Yes, GIJ is over. What am I going to do next? Am I going to get a job right now? Should I go and marry? Should I go back to school? What should I do? So I said, fine, I have to do my national service. Then after national service, what?
What next?
And then I said, okay, if a job comes, why not? I'll be too glad to work. But I had promised myself that I want to marry at the age of 25. Age 26, I have my first child. 28, second. 30, third one. Then I'm done. Then I'll grow up with my kids and we'll have fun and all that. So what if the marriage does not come at the time? So what do I do?
What do I do? What's the plan?
What's the plan? Where do I want to work? Do I want to remain in Accra? At the time, my mother was in Ho, and so we were all in Ho at the time. So should I go back to Ho? What if I don't get a job in Ho? I mean, I wept after that because I couldn't believe that I'm thinking.
And I think one of the things that might have stressed you around that time was the fact that you didn't have the answers.
No, I didn't know what to do. Because, yes, national service was a given. I have to do national service. But then what? You know, but at the time, I didn't even know anybody in Accra for me to say I'm going to stay with the person. Because I was the student hostel. You know, but eventually I moved back to Ho to do my national service. And after the national service, there was no job. That time there was this PAMS card. I don't want to tell the PAMS card story.
Please, let's do it.
The other time I said it, and my sister started doing a debate about it.
Now that you've mentioned, let's talk about it.
So before I went to GIJ, I write entrance exams and all that, and then go for the interview, and you have to do an entrance interview.
Yeah.
So they asked me, what is PAMS card? And I started scratching my head. I said, is that not the program of action for the mitigation of something? Please, I've forgotten. I know it, but I think I forgot it. And the guy, they were just, it was a panel, they were just looking at my face and said, are you serious? I said, no, I'm serious. You know, it's the program of action for the mitigation. No, I can't remember the rest.
But did you know it, for real?
I didn't know it. I couldn't remember it. You know, interviews have a way of taking things out of your head. So I couldn't remember it. But I wasn't fretting about it. I just told them.
The confidence alone, the confidence itself.
That's what my dad did to us. He makes you be yourself. You know, be yourself. And so there was no point in going to stress. Move on to the next question. Let's go on.
Wow. Did they move on to the next question?
They did. You know. So once I went to GIG and came out, it means I got it.
Yeah, you did it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you have, apart from, I mean, obviously you pick a lot of inspiration from your dad and mom. Growing up as a lady, a young lady, did you have anyone else you looked up to, inspiration, any role model figure?
My mom, yes, you've mentioned. My big sisters.
Okay.
And then Winnie Mandela. At the point, people used to think I was a South African. I loved Winnie Mandela.
First impressions, how you dress alone set. Winnie Mandela, what about her inspired you?
I just couldn't believe a woman who would stand behind her husband so much. And in the midst of he goes to jail, comes back once in a while, and she was still standing up for him. You know, and I used to read anything about Winnie Mandela, I would read it. And she was so beautiful, so strong, so, you know. So when later I heard other stories and for which the husband comes in and divorces her, I got angry with Mandela about that, but I'm sure he didn't even know I was angry with him.
It was personal for you?
It was very personal.
Wow.
You know, but Winnie Mandela, and then Madame Gifty Afeni Dazi. Oh yes, I just wanted to be like her. I loved her haircut. I loved the way she carried herself.
I tell people she's the prayer warrior for Ghana.
I'm telling you.
If you are living in Ghana, just know that Auntie Gifty is always praying for you.
I'm telling you.
She's made it her job to, constantly pray for Ghana.
And I met people like Tina Afro, Betty, and others in the media circles. Liz Heffron. They didn't realize, and I am sure I didn't even realize, but I just got surprised and awed by these beautiful women who were doing their work, and it was just nice. So I looked up to them, and Madame Gifty especially, because she was prayerful. I was wondering how this beautiful woman is doing journalism, then she's praying. It was something. So for me, it was like the in thing to be in the Lord, love God that much, and still be at the top in the corporate world. It was really something. And then someone like Dr. Joyce I loved them.
Auntie Joyce was the third person I interviewed on Leaderboard Series. She's an impeccable person. Like her achievements are mind-boggling.
I'm telling you.
And you see, you just mentioned something that I really love. As a Christian, when you see Christ in people who are able to still combine everything and then achieve great miles with it, it's inspiring. I mean, you have no option than to fall in love with them.
I'm telling you. So
they
for
make
me,
you look good.
they are virtually living Christ.
Yes.
Okay, they're living Christ, because if the earth is the Lord's and the fullness therein, then it means every good thing should come from us. If I say, I shouldn't even tell you I'm a Christian. I should give you an experience that makes you go thinking, wow.
That should be a Christian.
That should be a Christian.
I love that. Now, one thing I also want to find out, you grew up with two police
officers.
Police officers.
Yes.
You have the height of an average police person.
Oh, don't go.
Didn't you at any point feel the pressure to become a policewoman? Were you not inspired at any point to become a policewoman, or you had plans and dropped it?
I was asked several times, oh, Sophia, I joined the police. Sophia, my mother was like, why don't you want to be in the police? You see, I'm a very disciplined person.
Okay.
But I just couldn't stand the discipline of wearing a uniform every day. Let me be disciplined at my level. You understand? But I just couldn't stand. So people talked about police, military. I just couldn't stand uniform. I felt the uniform is too. It binds you too much. It's too regimental for me. You know. So I just wanted the freedom to move around, to do whatever I want to do, but in a disciplined manner.
In a disciplined manner.
Yes.
I think there's a big similarity in all you're saying today to what my guest for last week said.
Oh, really?
Yes. Nanekria also didn't like anything regimental, but was very, very disciplined, and so she didn't like the idea of, okay, do this at this time every day.
No.
But she just liked to do it every day.
Yes.
So don't put a time to it. But didn't they get mad at any point in time, or how did they even understand?
They did. I'm sure. Look, I think my siblings and I were blessed with very great parents, and we thank God for that gift of our parents, because they appreciate what you want. Okay, so my mom would have loved to see us go to the police, but no, I didn't go, and there was no big deal. You come out and you are a journalist. Oh, she's excited about it. People go like, oh, by journalist, and it's exciting, isn't it? So she and we have different professions in the house. My brother attempted to go to the police, I must say. He was in there for a while, but then came out, and he had to travel out. Okay. Yes. So, but at least somebody tried.
It's like you guys ran away from it. Somebody tried and then it worked, and then he had to back out because it was a different plan for him. Anyway, so we're live on Facebook, guys. Y107.9 FM. Let me take a brief moment to say hi to Nikita Bones on Facebook. Yabuate is also watching. Yabuate says, Madame Sophia is a fantastic communications practitioner. She is so humble and wears that awesome smile all the time at the office. I think this person works with you. We say Aiko to her from Yabuate Jospong Group compliance team member. Joel Gordon Mensa says, congrats, Sophia. Kelvin Kawa says, much love, Madame. And Nana Utuyabua says, solid woman by all standards. I'm so excited listening to your life story. Let me take this moment to say good morning to Josephine Labi from MTN headquarters. She also locked into the show. Good to know great women are listening to us this morning. Very, very inspiring. Anyways, 30 minutes past 10. That's why Leaderboard Series on Y107.9 FM. Madame Sophia Kudjordji from Jospong Group is with us this morning. If you have a question for her, the hashtag is Y Leaderboard Series. Just feel free and throw it in here. Now, you began your career as a journalist. Somewhere along the line, you worked with Ghana News Agency, the Volta region, and then later rose to the position of a senior reporter. Take us through the process. How did you get in there? You remember your first day at work, the challenges you went through before you got to that position.
Okay, so I started, I told you earlier that I did my national service in Ho. So I started my national service with Ghanaian Times. Okay, now after the national service, at the time, I think that's when the PAMS card issue came in. At the time, because of PAMS card, there was embargo on employment in government institutions. So I had to offer myself for a second year of national service.
Wow.
Yes, but this time with the Ghana News Agency. Now, when I went to Ghana News Agency, I am this person who always wakes up singing and dancing and smiling all over the place. So, singing and dancing, yes. As for the smiling, it's my sister who taught me later. Now, I go to work. I go to work every morning singing. Every morning, I walk into the office singing. So my boss once goes like, Sophie, the way you like singing, why don't you take a bowl and go and sit somewhere and sing for people to give you money? Because this thing is not bringing you any money.
Yeah.
And I said, well, the Lord will provide. So somehow, after the second national service, I did what Ghana News Agency calls stringing.
Okay.
Now, stringing means you do the stories, you can cover anything at all. Now, the stories that are used, you send it to Ghana News Agency. If there's any of the story is used, you'll pay for it. If it's not used, you'll not pay for it. So imagine doing this in the Volta region. How much stories can you get? But then I have this story that whenever I went, for instance, about a month or two, when they put all the money together, you look at the money and it's so small and you're wondering, is that all?
After all the effort I put in.
After all the effort. So one of the days I just picked that money, went to the washroom, and my mother is a dangerous tither. She's been tithing, so from JHS I was tithing. So I picked that money and I said, God, you know what? If you're not shy to give me this money, I'm shy to give you a tithe out of this. Please, take all. So I put it in an envelope and took it to church.
You sent the whole money?
Yes, I sent it. It
was too small.
It was too small. Which part of it do I take as a tithe? So I took it to church and then gave it to God. I left it for him. Okay, you take it. Take it, don't do anything about it. But God surprised me. You remember there's a story about being a PR consultant for community water and sanitation? Yes. So at a point, they come in and said, okay, so far, there's this Danida group that wants a PR person to help. I said, but I just finished my national service. Because they are big men, correspondents
far
for
more
graphic.
qualified, yeah.
Oh yeah, people who had been in the industry for 15 years, 20 years. They said, no, you come. So I go to see them, and all that time I didn't have. I said I didn't have a job because I wanted to work with Ghana News Agency, and Ghana News Agency had not given me an appointment letter.
Yeah, you were still a national service personnel.
I had finished national service.
You were
then.
doing the second year.
Yes, I was.
For that, yeah.
No, not even the second year. I was stringing.
Yeah.
So then I started this consultancy. I guess some small. It wasn't small money. That was when I started being paid in dollars. The first time they gave me like 1 million cedis back then, I can't remember how much that would be now. I went to put it on a table for my mother to see. Said, the million cedis that people have been talking.
Ghana cedis.
Yeah, I think
no,
so.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
Said, million now, what can it be new? You know, this is the million that people have been talking about, which we have seen some today. Look at it. You know, and that job was a miracle job. That consultancy was a miracle consultancy job because after everything, this person calls me and says, Sophia, these people need a PR person. I go there and they ask me, how much will you charge us? In my naivety, I mentioned an amount, I said 10 cedis or something per day or something. The guys looked at me and said, Sophia, you leave the cost to us, we'll take care of it. So later I come and they tell me, tell us the number of days you use for any job. The number of days you give us, we will multiply that by this amount of dollars. So I can't remember if it's $10 or $100. They multiply it by the dollars and pay me that. So I determine how many days I use for it. If I say I'm using 30 days to do a newsletter,
they pay you
for
per
them,
the day.
Yes. You know, and I was doing all that, and I was still rush back to Ghana News Agency and string. I didn't stop. I would do, so I work in the night, late in the night, to get their things delivered to them.
And then during the day,
I'll go to Ghana News Agency.
So you get paid on this side, and you still go back and string.
Yes, and string. Not getting much, but I was just excited, going to work. You know, I have this young guy, Agbeko, who one day asked me, Auntie Nana, so is this how you're going to work late in the night all the rest of your life? I said, oh, how? Who will do that? Nobody will do that. I still do it. I haven't stopped. Yes.
Wow.
Most of the times I find myself sleeping after 12.
Is it fair to say money was not the motivation for you?
Not at all. Money, no.
But you had to survive.
You have to survive, but the joy and the dignity of doing something, just doing some work, you know, the money comes along. Why not? It's beautiful. It's nice. You buy what you want to buy. But at the time, I was this tiny person who didn't think about anything because of the Ghana News Agency job would take you around. I'll go to Kudjordji, in Kwanta, you know, the northern sector of Volta region. I'll go to Keta, all over the place. And I was the only lady then with the guys. So I wasn't even motivated to buy dresses, and so when they say that people are slay, I'm like, oh wow, how do they do it? I don't know how to slay. I have to learn how to slay, you know. But I'll buy jeans, shirts, and stuff like that. And so for me, that was what mattered. Then at the end of the day, in 1994, Ghana News Agency, was it 94 or 9? Yeah, 94. 94, 96, 94. Then Ghana News Agency invites me for an interview. Come and see me. I remember my interview very well. I went to sew a new dress, bought a new bag. It had these gold rings around it. It was looking, you know, what did you say, vibe?
Yeah,
it was vibing.
It was vibing.
I'm telling you. So then I go for the interview, and these 3 gentlemen, and they're like, oh wow, somebody is coming for an interview. Look at how you all dressed up. I say yes. I mean, during my national service days, I was saving for this particular day. So wow. Then one of them said, oh, but you're so nice. Can I give you to my son? I said, well, I don't know if he would like me. Why don't you allow him to make his own choice?
Wow.
And the guy was like, okay. So we had an interview, and at the end of the day, I got the job.
It was a fun interview, right?
It was.
You were prepared for it?
Have I ever been prepared for anything?
Well, unconsciously, yes.
Unconsciously, yes. I just psych myself up. You know, there is this quotation in the Bible that God gave me whenever I'm going for an interview. That matters to me. So the conclusion I've come to is that when it comes to interviews, it is not how much you know. It is the impression that people have about you that matters. So you could go to an interview, you do so well, but maybe you were wearing a red dress or a green dress. Somebody is sitting there, don't like that dress. So no matter how well you speak, it might not sit well with them. At the end of the day, you will answer all the questions, but somebody will come and say, but that person did better. So it's about the impression, and the Bible says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They are mighty through God for the pulling down of strongholds and every imagination. And he brings thoughts into captivity to obey Christ. So that is my
That's your mantra, yeah.
Yes, whenever I'm going for an interview, I will learn, yes, but I will also pray about it, that God will grant me favor with the people who are going to
leave
interview.
a good impression on them.
Exactly. It doesn't always come normal like that. God has to speak to them. So I think I made an impression on them. I mean, if somebody has put it like that.
Second emphasis on the word sports.
No, it's important. Look, if you read the Bible, and I want the young ones to listen to this. The Bible says Saul was going through serious demonic attacks. And then the Bible said, the elder said, let's go and look for somebody to come and play the harp for him. Do you know one of the qualifications is, somebody mentioned, he said, oh, I know a son of Jesse. He's bold, he's a warrior, and he's handsome. Master, looking sharp.
It didn't even have anything to do with playing the harp.
No. So you have to look sharp. The first impression people have about you counts. So if you have to cut your hair, cut it. If you want to braid it, braid it.
If you want to trim it.
Whatever you want to do,
smell
just
good, look
look
good.
Sharp. Just look sharp. And come and see the guys in my office. My God.
3 points for you guys, man. Madam is praising you guys already. Wow. Beautiful story. I'm very, very impressed with it. I mean, the mere fact that, so I also had to, I call it my days for Nyami.
Okay.
Because, there were days where man was not earning any salary. I was neither a national service personnel or an intern. I was just in there.
Exactly. Because
I had plans. And this was me with equal opportunities on the side. I mean, better opportunities on the side. I was doing economics in Legon.
Okay.
There were times I'd go on vacation, long vacation, had the opportunity to do paid internships. But I would turn them down and then come, do my production. And years after that, it paid. And when it pays, just as you said, it pays all that you were supposed to earn before.
Yeah.
God will just put everything together and then give it to you. It just needs patience.
Yeah.
And you see, when you really want to do it and you keep doing it, regardless how bad the atmosphere is, you don't feel it.
No.
It's not like the atmosphere isn't bad. It is bad, but you don't feel it because you're looking at somewhere beyond.
And that's one thing the youth need to know. Focus. Focus. Because if you're not focused, anything can distract you. Anything at all can distract you. But if you are focused, there'll be push and pulls. There'll be the pressures for all, but you know where you are going to. So there are days, yes, you become weak. You might think, am I doing the right thing? The way everybody's...
Am I in the right space?
The way everybody's done. But once you know what you're about, nothing should move you from what you're where you're going to. And have something in mind that says that this is where I want to go to.
Yes, have a fair idea where you want to go to, your destination.
Exactly. If you have a fair idea of that destination, that is when the focus becomes easier. Because you must focus on something. If there is nothing to focus on, then once somebody says, hey, you are looking there, then you but focus is key. Is key. Yeah.
I'm much more interested in talking about your days as a journalist still.
Okay.
How different, was news gathering back then as compared to now?
I think so back in Ho, all right, you go to the field, the organizers of whatever programs will come and pick you, and you go and do your stories and come back. Now, the advantage that young ones today have, which I believe we didn't have much of at the time, is the advantage of Google, of getting information everywhere.
Advancement of technology, internet.
Yes, internet. Technology. You have smartphones. Your smartphones should not just be for slaying. It should not just be for Snapchatting. It shouldn't just be for WhatsApp. Hey, Charlie, I was in the latest. Hey, Charlie,
you are actually a Bible. You know what's up.
I'm surrounded by so many young men and women, and it's so exciting, So you have so much advantage. My story should not just be he said, and he intimated, and he hinted that, and he propounded. No, can we get something more? When he said that, what did you check to corroborate what he had said? So that the news should not just be he said. It should be rich. It should be rich. And that richness is not coming from what he has said alone, but what you have also gathered.
So opinionated back by facts.
Exactly. Yeah. So you realize that you've done it can be the same news story. Yes, news stories are normally he said, but can you go behind that and get a bit more to make it rich? So he said A, B, C, and D. And then you add a bit to say that this is what so and so means. You understand? You are not changing the story, but you're making it richer. And I think that the young ones of today, I unfortunately don't see much of it. And the other thing too is I don't know if they're not ready to learn. But everybody seems quite happy in their space. They feel so invincible. And so people go on air, unfortunately, use languages that in my house you'll be whipped for. Oh yes. People can look adults in the face in the name of freedom of speech and just speak anyhow. Guys, we belong to a culture. The culture we belong to says, I respect the adult. Now, I respect people not because they are adults alone, because they're human beings. I want to give people the benefit of doubt. You understand? I want to respect people, one, for their positions, two, for age, and then for the fact that they're human beings. But now, and they are being held. The one who can shout louder and insult more is the one that is being held. It's quite heartbreaking. It's quite heartbreaking. One day I remember I called Mr. David Ampofo and I said, Senior, what are you doing for our young journalists? Sometimes I listen to the news and it's heartbreaking because you can see sheer ignorance. Forgive me. Some are doing excellently. Some are doing great jobs like you guys are doing right now.
Thank you.
Some are doing so great. But they are not ready to learn. You're not ready to learn. You can see a Ghanaian journalist, newscaster, reading the news and struggling to mention an Ewe name or a northern name. But you can mention some foreign name and you are comfortable with that. What happened to what happened to back in the days when you have the newscaster go around to ask the actual pronunciation of a name, actual pronunciation of something before they go on air.
Yep.
But now we feel that we are. We are invincible. No, hey, life is so much more than you can see. And I'm telling you, I tell the young ones with me, look, you carry more than you know. You carry so much more than you know. Sometimes you need somebody to help you pull that thing out of you.
That's true.
And if only you will humble yourself and learn. Just humble yourself and learn. It doesn't matter who you're learning from. Anybody. I have an 8-year-old, niece. The kind of things she can tell you. Sometimes you sit there. I ask my sister, where do they learn this English from? I go to their house and I said, I want a drink. And she said, I have this one. It's slushy. And I said, Eugenia, where from that one? She said, ask her. Apparently, when it's not the ice is not very caked and it's not very watery.
It's in between.
It's in between. It's slushy.
Yes, slush, that's the word. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it's basically when you blend ice.
That's basically
when you blend ice,
exactly.
the state goes into a slush. Yeah.
Guys, let's learn. And if I say learn, I'm not saying necessarily go to school, but go to school is important. Paper matters. Paper. It matters. There are 2 papers. The cash and the certificate.
That's true.
All matters.
I like that. See, these are realistic things. People fail to adhere to these things. People want to act as if these things don't exist. 2 things. 2 papers. Very important papers. The certificate
and the
cash.
have the cash. You can't fault them. They have it. I mean, we beg to get some of them. Have your certificate. Now, if God blesses you and the two papers merge, like speaking in tongues.
That's magic. Yes. Oh, wow. I'm loving it. I won't even lie. I'm really loving it. And so, guys, I mean, journalists of our time, let's learn. Let's do better. Let's improve our lives. When I sat with Auntie Joyce, I mean, she also had, or she also has a journalism background.
Yes, she does.
I spoke with Gifty Auntie as well, and they both mentioned these things. I mean, the fact that we need to learn, we need to improve ourselves. Beat your own records every day.
Every day.
There are things you don't know, things that you need to add to what you know in order to put you on that next pedestal. And if you fail to do that, if you feel like, okay, this is my position forever, I mean, this is where I am. I think Kwame Sefukai also gave a similar advice.
Okay.
You know much, but the much you know cannot take you to the next level. Always learn new things, improve yourself, improve your crafts. And this cuts across. I mean, wherever you find yourself, whether you're in the security agency, banking, everywhere, learn one thing, learn something new.
And you see, you should make it a conscious effort to ask people things you don't know. Don't pretend. Be yourself. What stops me from coming to you to say, oh, Rev, I like the way you couch this question. How do you do it? And tell me that, oh, I read this, or I actually watch this, or I do this. And let the person teach you. There is nothing demeaning about asking for help when you need it. Let's learn from anybody, anything. You understand? And I'm saying that the youth of today are so blessed because of the internet and technology. Look, if you want to be anything, you can be it.
You can be it.
You can be anything you want to be. You just have to know that you have it with her. God has so blessed us with so much. He says, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That word is so loaded, you have no idea. I'm telling you, there are things you can't, you think that, oh, me, I can't do this. I told you I grew up, I was so frail. I remember somebody, when I got married, the person was like, Sophia, I didn't know when you get married, be nice like this. So those days when I see you, I was afraid that if I touch you, you'll break. I said, yo, I hear you.
People are mean, oh.
You know? But look how far the Lord has brought us. Guys, I don't think it's a weakness to show that, guys, I'm vulnerable here. Help me. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's a strength. You should be able to, a leader, anybody in any position, you should be able to tell people that, guys, I'm human.
Being self-aware.
I don't have it all. Can you help me with this? Yes, I lead a team of a lot of young people and all that. I can't pretend that I know everything about the social media, so everything social media, then I cramping. No. My team takes it and they run with it. Why? Because that is not my domain. Tell me to write. Yes, I will write.
Do it.
Yeah. You know.
But you don't fail to learn if it's expected of you. You go to them and seek advice.
They know
seek
it.
Knowledge. Yeah.
Sometimes we fight. Then I will say something and say, no, it should be like this. I don't know where it's not going to be like that. We fight and come back we come to a conclusion. But that is what it is. You don't have it all.
You also hosted a radio show, or you actually had a couple radio programs for women. I mean, you were in this position some time back.
Yes.
On Voter Start Radio.
Yes.
What kind of opportunities and doors would you say those extra engagements opened for you as a young journalist?
I think what it did for me was to give me that kind of image. You know, people saw in you a role model. So a lot of young people, the youth program, for instance, because the women's program I was hosting, I wasn't married then, I was just a young girl, but then I'll bring in adults to talk about all sort of things, relationship, law, and all that. And then for the youth, we're talking about, it was something that was being sponsored by PPAG.
Okay.
You know, so we're talking about sexuality among the youth and how to protect yourself and all that. And I'm happy to say that, I mean, I think through that, some of them learned some values that made them protect themselves. But I had some really serious stories that were heartbreaking, but it helped me to appreciate life better, to appreciate where I was and what I was doing, and to hold on to the values that my parents had taught me at the time.
And then you moved on to UT.
Yes.
Tell me about your days with UT, how exciting your position was. Because I think the first time I saw you was with UT.
Really?
Yes, way back.
Wow.
Yeah. Tell me how you got to work for UT and what your job entailed.
Okay, so I was working with the British High Commission at the time.
Yeah.
And then I was working with a couple of people, and the usual me go to work singing
The singer.
you know. So there was this colleague of mine at UT who at the British High Commission who moved to UT. When she got to UT, she said at the point they said they were looking for a marketing communications person. And she said, they said they were looking for a marketing person, but the description of the personality they wanted was one with a PR tilt. You know, so she recommended that I go for the interview. So I applied, and I went for the interview. I think there again I misbehaved, because I remember one question they asked about, okay, so how much would you want us to pay you? And I mentioned some amount, and they said net or gross, and I said, oh, that's where you get me. I don't know the difference.
I don't know the details. I just know I have to get paid. You know, I need my money.
They started laughing. They're like, are you serious? And I said, no. So tell me, which one is the net?
And which one is the gross? Tell me so I know which one I give you.
You know, so eventually I go to UT. But UT, it was such a beautiful place. I go there. The first week I meet Mr. Mwabing. I go to his office. I don't know if he remembers this story. I go to his office. He's drinking tea. And he said, Madam, sorry, I can't give you some. I said, oh, don't worry. I'm not even interested. I'm not a tea person. Then he said, and I said, Chairman, you know what? I admire something about you. I heard you say on radio that when you grow your company, the company grows with you. So whilst you think you are projecting the company, somehow you get projected also. And I found that statement very profound. Then he said, have you come here to flatter me? I said, do I look like somebody who flatters people? I don't know why. I'm supposed to be a nice person, but my tongue sometimes...
You can't, well, I think it lives on its own.
I know, right?
Hey, you have the kind of tongue that will tell you.
Mr. Mwabing loved that. Do you know that a month after working with him, and one thing you can't take away from him, energy, passion, vim, zeal. Oh, I don't know where it comes from, but I just enjoy what I do. So after 1 month of working with Mr. Mwabing, I remember he told somebody that, have you seen that new girl that comes that is smiling all over the place? But I was in my office one day, then his secretary calls me and said, Sophia, Mr. Mwabing wants to see you. And I said, oh, okay. So I rushed to his office. He said, no, don't worry, I'll come and see you. Then he comes to my office and he says, Sophia, you know, when you were introduced to me as the person that found a job, I was happy. I think it was a good choice. But having worked with you for 1 month, I'm very happy you are the one we chose.
Wow.
That blew me.
That's just a month.
Just a month. That blew me because it spoke to me about confidence in you. And so the man is looking up to you. And there was nothing I would not do for UT. I remember when the bank was going down, friends would call me, Sophia, your brand, your logo at the top is going down, and I was in tears because we were doing things, and UT was like a family. It was like a family, and I always say that it's sad UT is gone down, but Mr. Mwabing and the culture he built in that company is nothing close to any private company in this country. It was a family philosophy where one of our key, values core values was Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am because you are, and we were there for each other. I used to tell people that UT is a place when you are working hard, when you go out and you meet a UT person, you forget about your spouses, and then just
you move on with the new family.
Yeah. It's there was a lot of belief in what you're doing. There's a lot of energy. Everybody is ready to help. And then we had one of our values being stepping up to the plate and challenging the status quo. So respect was one. Mr. Mwabing was the epitome of respect. I'm telling you. So you respect each other, but you don't let each other get away with nonsense stuff. You tell him to them as it is. You question why things are the way they are.
The bluntness.
It is. And I think it was a beautiful thing. And you should see us in meetings. And it was such a focused company. It is sad the bank went down. But I'm telling you, that culture, I wish we had written something about it. We had documented it so that today it can be replicated in other places. But UT was a beautiful place.
It was a beautiful
I mean,
place.
I worked in there as a assistant marketing manager or something of the sort. You know, at a point I became a media and public relations manager. At a point, before I left, I was an external affairs manager. You know, and I worked with them for 9.5 years.
9.5 years.
Yeah.
Would you describe the moment it all went down as your lowest moment in your career journey? Or there's one that beats it?
I think that will be one of it, because actually I left UT a year before the bank went down.
Okay.
But I felt that day I wore black to work. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I knew UT was having challenges. Who doesn't have challenges? Everybody does, you know. But I often say that sometimes the simplest solutions to some of these problems is just closing it down and that's it. No, that is not it, because there are implications. Sometimes it's important to sit down, look at issues critically, and I pray nobody takes this as a political talk, because and I'm talking about life in general. If there is something going on in your life, it is important to sit down, critically think about it. Why is this like this? What could I have done? What can I do? Is this the only solution? You understand? Give yourself options.
Options, yeah, varied options.
Give yourself options so that you can come up with the best decision. Otherwise, if you rush, you might take decisions that might be popular at the time, but eventually the rippling effect of that single decision could be dire, you know. And these are what we call about choices in life. Choices. When you have options, you make a choice. But informed decisions makes you make a better choice. You understand? So it was a low moment for me, because we couldn't believe UT was going down. We couldn't believe it. It was such a good brand, and it was a brand that could have really lifted Ghana, the name of Ghana, to place. Because we were in Nigeria, we were in South Africa, you know, and it was starting small. Bible says, do not despise small beginnings, you know. So, but well, there are things in life that you can never understand. You don't have control over, so you don't cry over it for forever, you know. Thank God Mr. Moabing is alive, he's healthy. The chairman, Mr. Sunamwa, is alive, he's healthy. That is all that matters.
That's beautiful. I like those words. I mean, hope is never lost, you know. So one thing I also want to find out with regards to your career, in your opinion, what are some of the most important values a young woman must possess in order to be able to overcome the numerous challenges and pressures, you know, the professional environment comes with?
One thing I can say, and I'm just using myself, is being yourself. Value yourself. Love yourself. You know, people call it self-love and self-value. I call it love me, love me. Love me enough to know that, yes, I am ready to go with this. That one will help me, that one will not help me. Be yourself. Learn to value yourself. You see, that value on yourself comes in when you know that, look, I am bigger than what I am seen for right now. I'm telling you. Can you imagine Kofi Annan was once a boy on the streets of Accra? He was just a boy. Whenever I'm talking to the youth, I tell them, take his number, because you don't know where he will be tomorrow. And respect him now, because you don't know where he will be tomorrow. We are all mates. But hey, we will not all end up at the same level.
No, that's true. Very, very important.
So learn to respect people. Respect yourself and respect people. Value yourself. And value others too. Know that in this world, brother, people matter. People matter. I say this to myself, that what is success if there is nobody to celebrate you with, to celebrate with you? What is success if there is nobody to celebrate with you? You know, so young people should learn, one, value yourself, two, respect yourself. If you do this too, you should be able to humble yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It is humility that makes me respect you. It is that humility that makes me value you as who you are. I can't sit here and pretend that what you're doing, I can do it. So I will walk in my my jacket and all that and be throwing my wits about. Hey, easy on yourself. It's just you.
Okay.
I tell the story about when they were doing the election petition, the last one, not the recent one.
Yeah.
When one of the political guys was being interviewed, and then the guy, there was a guy who was doing interpretation, and then the judge said, "So have you seen yourself? You see that you're a mere man?" And the interpreter was like, "Guys, you can see this."
I can actually see it on Facebook. It's on Facebook, guys. Hilarious.
You know,
So
it's
you'll
like,
be
when we come to that realization that, hey, we are all the same.
Yeah.
We are all the same. And it is even more important when you know that you don't know my tomorrow.
Yeah.
So learn to respect yourself. At the workplace, be yourself. Who are you? By the way, do you know yourself? Do you know yourself enough to be yourself? You have to know
Deep
yourself.
questions. Do you know yourself enough?
Yes, to be yourself. You know yourself, be yourself, and never allow passion to leave you. Passion is, how do I put it? I call it falling in love with the company. With the company, not with the guys.
No, yeah.
Or the girls. Fall in love with the company. When you fall in love with the company, you will flow with everybody in there. Of course, there are some human beings, there is nothing you can do to make them happy.
You can't please them.
No, it's not a problem. Let them live in their bitterness and whatever they have. But you love yourself enough, respect yourself enough, respect others, and love the company. If you don't love your company, you can't sell it.
If you don't love your company, you can't sell it. That's true. And if you love your company, you flow with everyone and everything. I mean, even if things are not right, you know how to handle it because you have love for the company. Yeah. That's very important and realistic. So far, let's talk about your family. How do you, first of all, I want to find out, you seem like a very, very busy person.
Yes.
Take me through your regular day. When you wake up in the morning, what do you do? Where does family come in? Where does work come in? How do you even balance both?
Okay, so God in his own infinite wisdom decided that he will make my royals take their time. So my royals haven't arrived yet. But I've been blessed with nieces, nephews, cousins, and and so there's not a single time that I'm alone in the house. The youth will have to know that life is not always a motorway. Even the motorway now has more potholes.
Parts of it doesn't have street lights.
Yeah. Life is not always a smooth journey. There are ups and there are downs. Okay, so people who know me know that I used to be called Lisa. So I was married. I had to juggle family, marriage and work and school. There was a time I was at when I was at UT. This thing significant happened. They wrote UT was going on to the initial public offer. So they profiled all the managers, and everybody had a degree, a master's, something. I saw to my name, diploma in journalism, and I was always running around. So I said, diploma in journalism? Is that all I have to my name? Oh no, that's not fair. Immediately, I went to Legon to register, did the distance, that entrance exams, adult class,
matured
students
entry,
thing.
Yes.
Quickly, I went to write the exams. Thankfully, I passed. And then I went to Legon. While I was at Legon, I was doing the chartered marketing. So I was combining two courses. I just couldn't believe that all I had, I talked about paper, right?
Yes,
the
paper. You had only one paper. Diploma.
Only one paper.
In journalism.
I said, wallahi, it's not going to happen. So I registered, I went to Legon, did the chartered marketing. There was a day I remember this very well. My husband then, my ex-husband, was involved in an accident. And so we had brought him he was working in Paga at the time, and we brought him from Paga to 37. He was on admission at 37. And I had exams on both sides.
The chartered
marketing side,
and then
Legon. And I think at the time, UT was doing initial public offer. So I couldn't even take days off. So I went to, I think they had then finished with the public offer, but it was the identity change.
Okay.
So I was involved in the media thing because I was leading media engagement at the time. So I go to 37 by 5:30 to take care of my husband. Then I come to Legon to write my paper, which was from 7 to 9 o'clock. And then I was writing my chartered marketing exams at Zenith College at 9:30. So I go from the hospital straight to Legon, write my exams.
So this is 37. Where did you live back then?
Spinters Road, Nungwa.
So you come from Nungwa to 37,
yes.
And then from 37 to Legon.
I was at Workers College.
Workers College, yes. Accra City Campus.
Yes, Accra City
And then
Campus.
from there to Zenith.
To Zenith.
That's Chado. Trade fair.
Yes.
And then you have to come back to work.
Then I have to come back to work. And I did it. I mean, sometimes I ask...
It didn't kill you?
No. Hard work does not kill. My grandmother used to say, hey, my father is sever, so if any ever, I don't know how to say it in English, so my grandmother said, Asine bianami, nkumega bianami. Let your hands be red, not your eyes. Not your eyes. Let your hands, your fingers, let your fingers be red, not your eyes. Hard work does not kill. It's all part of I told you, everything working together for good. These are the things that shape you to be who you are. So people see you go through things and you are calm. They are wondering, is she not seeing what is happening?
You don't know what she's seeing.
You don't know what she's seeing.
Wow.
You don't know what she's seeing. So, of course, I was married for about 13 years. It didn't work out,
Yeah.
So... as I said, my angels, my royals haven't arrived yet. We are still looking forward to them. But I've lived with my nephews, my cousins, and all that. And so it wasn't too much working, like juggling too many things, because these are mostly adults. Of course, I have to do the cooking. I have my favorite things I cook, and I will do that on Saturdays. That is if the anointing comes for cooking. I call it my anointing for cooking. if the anointing
the angels drop the recipe. I like that.
If the anointing comes, then I'll do some cooking. But most of the times I'm working, I'm at church, But my life has been mostly work. So but the good news is that the delay of my royals has not affected my engagement with the young ones. There are people who still don't believe that my royals haven't arrived yet. Whenever I mention, they say, no, it's not true. It's not true. So but we've seen this child, we have seen that girl. So I say, oh, no, they are mine.
You treat them as though they are yours.
They are mine.
They're still your royals. They were sent to come pave the way for the royals before they come.
I'm telling you. So it's not too much work. When it comes to that side, I am too much into my work, actually. That's more like it.
That's more like it. But what do you do for fun if you're not working? And you're not singing at work? Or dancing at work?
Most of the times, unfortunately, if I'm not at church, I'm sitting in my living room, crossing my leg, watching TV.
What kind of TV shows do you like?
I don't like hard stuff.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll be shocked. I'm not watching anything in particular, just flipping channels. This is interesting. Oh, that one is interesting. Oh, then you watch a little.
That is enough for you. Wow.
Just something to relax the mind, yes.
Let's go on back to Jospong. I mean, somewhere along the way, the Jospong, and I found out just this morning that Jospong is, I think it was Joseph, and there's a middle name.
Joseph Siao Ejapong.
Ejapong, yes, Jospong. That's the name. That's where the name, comes from.
Yes, recently my sister said, "Oh, say happy birthday to your boss for me, Joseph Opong," because
ideally, it's supposed to be. Come to think of it, Seth, why isn't he Joseph Opong? Yeah, because I mean Joseph, and then a Jospong.
Yes.
And then he decided to take just the Pong part, the last part.
Yeah.
Sounds good, by the way.
It's wonderful.
I want to find out how seamless your move from UT Group to your current position at Jospong was. Did you also have to go for an interview? Did they ask you about money again? They did. This time, did you give a better answer?
I think I did. So I go for this interview. Of course, it was quite tough because at this level it's quite higher. UT was 6 or 7 companies. This one at the time was about 45 companies. So the expectations are higher. And so they asked
45 companies as at the time you applied?
Yes. Now we have about 60 companies.
Wow.
Yes. So, I mean, that interview, it was quite okay. I don't know if I was prepared for it. I told you, you can't be prepared enough in life.
Never.
I'm trying. The most important thing is do your best. And you yourself, you know that there is no room again. You have done your best. So when you go and you don't get it, you don't hate yourself too much because you know you did your best.
You did it, exactly.
Exactly.
You're prepared.
Exactly, you know. But you can never be prepared enough. Because people will always have some questions from other circles and then, you know. So I left UT on the 16th of June and I was supposed to start work at Jospong on the 1st of July. And then I had my baptism of fire. When so 16th of June was a Friday, and I thought I was going to take some days off to prepare myself, you know, unwind and then see how I warm myself into the new office. Oh, Saturday, my boss calls me, Lisa, where are you? I said, Chairman, I'm at home. Oh, blah, 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 Cecilia, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, sir. Then I went and he said, oh, there is this project coming up. I want you to lead on it, please. Let's work. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we started working. I think I'm here to go on leave.
Wow. So you were supposed to resume 1st July.
Yes.
17th, 18th.
Yes.
Were your only days off. 19th, you began work.
Yes. No, I didn't even, I think the following day he just called and I had to run. And it's been fun.
How many years have you worked with them?
5 years.
5 years.
Yes. 5 years. I started as a group communications officer and now acting chief corporate communications officer.
What are some of the key indicators to look out for when moving on to another company? When you're joining another corporate entity, I mean, you have experience with a lot of companies. What do you look for? What are the things you look for that you don't see at the current space? Even if you see it, what are the things that should motivate you to move to another company?
Okay, so one of the things you want to look out for is career progression. Does the company offer career progression? Do I have any opportunity for learning and developing myself as an individual? Do I have the opportunity to add anything to that company? Am I just going to walk through or I'm going to make an impact? That is key. 2, you want to look at the culture. The culture is something you don't see. Because initially it's like marriage. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you too. Oh, you're the apple of my eye. But then when you enter the marriage, then you begin to see that, no, these are 2 adults who have already formed their opinions and attitudes and everything before coming together. So what do? You work at it. Every company has its own culture, which is based on their values. Do your personal value align with the company's values? The company will tell you what their core values are. That sounds good. So you want to work with that core value and enter. When you enter, there are issues. I mean, I talked about duty as having a beautiful, but we had our issues also. It wasn't a perfect, I'm sure we had our issues also. But the beauty of it is that you learn, and that is why it is important that you don't go to any office first week, second week and think that, oh, I am the Ogboro, so I'm the one that is coming to dictate things because they say I'm the boss.
Change this and clear that, cut this off.
Yes. Oh, you sit there, you go here. You know, initially you might think people are listening to you, but there is going to be a point they're going to fold their arms like this and say,
they will develop resistance for what you're doing.
Do it. because wisdom does not reside in one man's head. And anybody who has been in a place for you to go and meet them has some value to offer.
That's true.
So don't ignore them. As much as possible, work with people. Of course, there are people who will definitely resist you, no matter what you do. Do your best to handle them. If it gets to a point and it's not working, make them invincible. Close your eyes sometimes. In life, you learn to close your eyes sometimes. It is not everything you see that you want to talk about or allow it to create a reaction from you. No. Maturity is when you have gotten to a point where things are happening, you are hearing things, you are seeing things, but you are calm. You are watching. You're thinking, do I need to respond? Do I not need to respond? And that is how it is. So when you're going to any place, 1, learn about them. 2, try and see how you work with people. It will not come naturally. Some people, you warm yourself into them.
Exactly.
Some will take time. Everybody who's been in a place before you get there will have some resistance. It's natural. It's natural. After all, nobody wakes up in their house from their houses in the morning, goes to work and says, today I'm going to mess up. No. No.
Trust me, there's a 1% be somewhere. When they wake up here, we are going to cause trouble.
Today we are going to cause trouble in the
But
office.
even with that, I mean, the consistency in they wanting to cause trouble is respected.
Exactly. Or maybe something might have triggered the night before.
Yep.
And so they want to go and show people Pepe. That this one there, I said I was going to be quiet about it, but you lie. I won't be quiet about it. So that is there. But we are human beings first before any title we carry. We are human beings first before any title we carry. So give people the benefit of doubt. When you go to a new place, relax. Let them teach you how they do their things. You might have great ideas, but when you have taken your time to learn from them, they will then be ready to listen to you. Because you have respected what they have done.
Already.
And you are not going to say, okay, you have done this here, okay. Oh, it's bogus. Let's start with this new one. No. Any smart person, the first thing you do is, oh, wow, interesting. Oh, wow. Okay, so this one, what do you think? What about if we add this one to it? Or maybe this one, I think we've been doing this one for longer. What has really been the impact in Po? Okay, can we take this one out? It's easier to get to that level with people. Then you get people to appreciate what you're doing. But if you go and boom,
Just want to
boom,
cut down everything. Might even cut the right ones away.
Yes. And even the youth, if you're going to a new place to work, don't think that I just completed school and I did this, that,
fresh
blood. So this is what we are taught in school, Master.
Technology child.
What are you talking about? People have been doing this before.
It's been working for them for years.
So how do you introduce your technology without rocking the boat for those who are the traditionalists? There should be a meeting point, a converging point.
There should be a junction, on there. In light of all that you said, what were the key things that made you know, or the assurance bit of your move to Jospong? The things that made you know, okay, this is the right move, or I'm making the right decision. Did you see it before you got in, or you had to get in before you saw it?
So my boss now, the executive chairman and founder of Jospong Group of Companies, Dr. Jospong, belated happy birthday. He had his birthday on the 20th.
I think his 50th birthday.
50th birthday.
Yes.
Beautiful day it was. Very calm, quiet. He, before I joined, would always come to me and say, oh, Lisa, I think you're doing well. Can you help me with this? So that belief in you, as having something that you can add value to his company. Oh, can you help me with this? Sometimes his team is doing something and he will say, oh, call Sophia for her advice on this. So that gave me the impression that, no, this is somebody that will value whatever you bring on board. There's somebody who really needs, who sees that you can provide a solution for a need, So that took a bit of time before I finally agreed, because I felt that I believe in leaving legacies. I believe in loyalty. I believe in loyalty. I wouldn't move from a company just because somebody has come and say, oh, I'll give you more money. No. Money is good. I told you it's the second paper. It's good.
Paper number 2.
It's good, but it's not everything. It's not everything. So once I realized that, I felt I was needed. I felt I was needed. So then I saw that, so you have helped to build a brand for UT. Yes, UT brand is good. People are talking about the brand. So if there is this other company that also needs African indigenous Ghanaian company that I can add some value to, why not? Why not? And I just recently started telling myself that, wow, I've worked with 2 of Ghana's biggest indigenous companies, and it's not been a roller coaster journey. But that's what adds to it to make it fun.
Yeah, it makes it fun.
Yes.
Anyway, still on Jospong, I mean, what in your opinion has made Jospong Group such an integral part of, our efforts in improving sanitation in our communities?
The vision and passion of the leader. I always say that people will vilify him. It's natural. You don't expect everybody to like you. But this is one person that he does things that amazes me. His speed, I haven't seen yet. You two were doing loans in 48 hours. I'm sure if he was doing a loan, it would be like
12 hours or even 8.
2 hours, I'm telling you.
Wow,
His speed, his passion. When he believes in something, he will give it his all. He doesn't fear risk. No. He doesn't fear risk. He will go. He believes in moving. When you move and you hit a rock, you find a way around the rock. But you don't stop. You don't stop. And that guy seemed to he loves Ghana like his own self.
For a Ghanaian, an average Ghanaian, all right, I use the word average because we are all basically on the same level. To have the vision to set up a company, a group that has close to over 60 companies, that's creating jobs.
Yes.
This is no single vision, that alone sets him aside.
Absolutely.
That alone gives us more view into he having so much love for the country.
And
you must love the people to be able to do this.
And the mission of the company is improving the lives of people. And what surprises me about him, and people don't realize this is one person, most Ghanaian, big men, what do? They go for holidays outside. Today he's in Dubai, tomorrow he's there. No. This man, even when he's on leave, and there's something to be done for this country, he will come back. I can't remember the last time he went on leave. He doesn't go on leave. He hardly sleeps. I'm telling you, the guy his passion, it's a gift. He himself is a gift.
Cutting edge passion.
I'm telling you, he himself is a gift to this country. And the earlier we see it and give him the support to do for Ghana what God has asked him to do for Ghana, the better for us. Otherwise, if we will badmouth him as we do to others, a day will come, we will say, had I known. But
it'll be too late.
Thank you very much. But his passion and his vision, and once that passion and vision is there, he will go to any length to get anybody that has the skill and knowledge to do what he wants to be done. He single-handedly went to Hungary, got the Hungarian government to support us to build treatment plants. So we have moved from waste collection to sustainable waste management infrastructure.
So I remember a few years back, when the issue of waste management comes up, people would say, okay, we're putting in efforts to manage waste, but we don't have the facilities to do it.
Yes.
And now, due to his efforts, at least we're moving a step ahead.
We are moving at such speed that we look. If you go to other African countries, that's when you know that. Oh, really? Oh, so Ghana, we are doing so well. But we as a nation, we don't know how to celebrate our own. As a nation, we don't know how to encourage ourselves. Maybe a few people do. But as a nation, we haven't come to the point where we celebrate people, we honor people for what they have done. We are quick to look for the mistakes.
The faults, They'd rather bash you for the faults. Let's look for its faults.
Somebody says, oh, the man has employed 200,000 people, and somebody is angry. He has not employed any 200,000 people. He has only 4,000. What if it was a slip? Even when you are writing, you also make a mistake. Yes,
true.
we do.
That's
but
true.
Along the value chain, Jospong has created over 250,000 jobs. Because, and look at the homes that he's taking care of. I mean, we have to be realistic. But like I said, you can't please everybody. So
That's
you
true.
don't.
We just
you
leave
don't.
that to them.
Yes, there are some things you look at it, blink your eyes and move on. You haven't seen it.
You know, right?
You learn to close your eyes sometimes.
So far, apart from sanitation, which is, the part of Jospong that all of us know, what are some of the sectors that the group operates in?
Okay, so the group operates in about 14 sectors of the economy. And for ease of administration, we have divided the group into 5 groups.
Okay.
So we have the environmental sanitation group, which is the Zoom Lions, we have the dredge masters, we have the sewage systems, liquid waste system treatment plants, the integrated composting and recycling plants. In fact, Kumasi, we built the biggest recycling and compost plant in Kumasi, 1,200 ton facility. Brother,
that's massive.
I need people to go and see that facility. Then
can you take us there?
Why not? I'll be too glad.
I think our station has sanitation months.
Oh, right.
We do have sanitation weeks. And a while back, I have to praise our company for this.
Okay.
Global Media Alliance, YFM, came up with sanitation programs to, campaigns to basically ease the increase in the use of plastic waste or plastic products, just so we can cut down, the number of plastic waste that we have in our system. And we're doing it again. We're doing it sometimes soon. So, on behalf of the company, I'd like to just bring this up so that we discuss on the side.
We will discuss it.
And we want to visit the place.
Oh, it would be great. We have plastic recycling plants. That one is in Accra. We have this composting and recycling plants. We have 3 at the moment that is working. The biggest one in Kumasi, the 1,200 ton. And then there's a 600 ton in Ejen Kotoku. There's a 400 ton around Kolebu. And I'm telling you that these are things that when you see it, then you begin to appreciate the man and say, this man, where does he get his thinking from? I call him, mobile ideas, because it's like whenever he sleeps and wakes up, something drops in.
He's the original idea factory.
We have to stop him from sleeping because
whenever he wakes up, he comes out with new ideas, right?
And it's a gift. You can't take it away from him. And he runs with such passion. And that guy is a great lover of God. What else can you get from such a person? It can only be the best. So we have that's the environmental sanitation space. We have an ICT group. Yes, which does digital archiving of documents and stuff like that. We have another company within that group that does software development. We have another company in that group that also does data, property and land, data banking and stuff like that. And then we have the commercial and allied services group, which has a hospitality. We have a hotel. We are part owners of Metro TV. We have Original FM. We have Akriti, which is a human resource outsourcing company. We have Appointed Time Screen Printing.
I remember.
Yes.
They used to do a lot of advertisement back then. Appointed Time Screen Printing.
Yes.
I remember.
Now Appointed Time Printing. And they're doing massive, beautiful things they're doing there, led by Jackie. And so that is there. We also have the financial services group. We are the owners of Millennium Insurance, Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, Kempton Trust, which is a pensions company. We are part owners of Omnibisic. Used to be Omni Bank, but with the recapitalization of the banks, we have to come together with Sahel Sahara. And then we also have the technical and logistics group, where we have the manufacturing, we have automobile plants and equipment and all that, and we have dew drops. In fact, during the COVID season, we had another company come up that is into sanitizers. This is
all these ones,
these smaller ones that
it went down.
that, hotels and other organizations. It's a small one. You can just put it in your pocket. The guys can put it in your pocket. You can put it in a hotel room or something, and it's very good, very effective. Has different flavors and all that. And we have J. Planpool, Amaris, JSA Logistics, and we have about 17 companies in that group, technical and logistics group alone, and then which one again? I think I've mentioned all of them. So environmental and sanitation, ICT, commercial and allied services, technical and logistics, and then we have the financial services.
Wow. When COVID hit, did it take you guys by surprise like the rest of us? You guys have been in the sanitation business for a while, the health business for a while. Were you guys surprised? Were there quick adjustments the company had to make?
So that is where the ingenuity of the executive chairman and founder of the company comes in. Do you know that Harvard University in the USA, I'm not talking Ghana Harvard, I don't know if there's any Ghana Harvard.
The main one.
The main Harvard that people yearn to go to.
I like you. Sophia is such a vibe, Indirectly, it will shade you somewhere. It's not the Ghana Harvard, the one in America. Yes, we know it.
My boss is an advisory board member of their Center for African Studies at Harvard, and they have a lecture, a distinguished lecture in his honor. Yes, at the Harvard T.A. Chan School of Health, Public Health. Now, the month before, that was in March. When that was when he had the maiden, lecture, and the guy from John Inking Council, from CDC Ethiopia, Africa Health something, he came to deliver, and there he started talking about COVID. Okay, so he was the main lecturer. He gave the keynote speaker for that particular the maiden one, and he talked about this. When we came back to Ghana, we knew something had started happening, and just after that time, the WHO started coming out with chemicals that can be used. You see that other countries have started spraying, disinfecting places and all that. Immediately, this visionary leader of ours decided that, hey, we have to do something. Ghana cannot wait for the thing to come and catch up with us here. So by the time we were even going on lockdown, he brought in machinery to do massive disinfection across the nation. So he was the only one who had all that it takes, using WHO chemicals with technical advice from Noguchi, to disinfect schools, markets, open spaces.
The fumigation, open fumigation and all that.
And I think that one put Ghana high up there. And that is something that if I had my own way, I should be giving him an award for, because it didn't come to everybody that easily, But, and then we also beefed up the sanitation, cleaning, because you realize that it came along with it, there's nose mask and all that. So we have beefed up our medical treatment facility. We have a medical treatment facility as well, which uses autoclave technology, to deal with waste, medical waste. And he sees opportunities and he seizes it. He doesn't.
Yeah, he sees and seizes it.
Oh yes. He has this preaching he did some time ago in Nigeria for Reverend Samadeyemi. As far as your eyes can see. And that is, he's talking about the potential that lives in us. He says, as far as your eyes can see, you can have it. So that's what happened. So COVID happened. Yes, it took everybody by surprise, but we also surprised COVID. We surprised COVID by arresting it immediately.
I like that. It's still on COVID. I mean, two of the subsidiary brands, under the group, apparently have been tasked with the responsibility of handling the medical expected, to be generated from the COVID-19 treatment centers, and of course the vaccination drive. How primed are you to carry out this, mandate successfully? I mean, the group.
I think we are more than ready, more than poised to get this done. When it comes to collection of waste, who else does it better than Zoomlion?
Nobody.
So we are at the grounds where there is the vaccination taking place. We are not just thinking about medical waste happening, but there is also general waste happening. So Zoomlion is there waiting to happen, waiting to take care of that. And then the medical waste, I said we have a facility, which is a centralized facility in Accra. But we also have trucks that is going from station to station to collect that medical waste. And as I speak to you, we are in the process of building other medical waste facilities across the region. Yes, because COVID has come to stay and we have to deal with it. So as I said, we don't wait for things to happen. We make it happen.
I like that. The company is mainly involved in waste management, right?
That's the Zoomlion.
Yes, the health and the sanitation parts. Yes. Still on that. So the main focus would definitely be on managing waste and cutting down the amount of waste that we produce, right? How, looking into the future, how is the Jospong Group positioning itself to, first and foremost, improve sanitation and in the country, and of course, improve the lives of the thousands of youth it employs? I'm saying this because if we are fighting against waste and we are managing it, we're definitely going to get to a point where we'll make enough waste, right? How would Jospong still, be on its feet? How would it still be able to get revenue through its operations to handle the thousands of people it employs?
In fact, my boss has been the first to speak about the fact that waste is a resource. It's not a waste. He says it's a resource. So if you go to some countries, they are even begging people to bring their waste to them.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few,
Yes. Why? Because they have put in place infrastructure that is able to deal with the waste. And that is the level that the company has got into, the Jospong Group has got into. If you remember last year from August till December, the president magnanimously helped us to cut the salt for 16 waste treatment plants across the nation. And that is the next level. So for now, what we're doing is waste collection. And I tell this funny story that we're doing the waste collection using the Youth Employment Agency module, sanitation module. What does it say? Youth employment. But when you go in there, check the ages of the people.
That's a conversation
because our young people are not used to sweeping. They are the engineers, they are the lab technicians.
Isn't it we don't see the opportunities there, or we belittle it?
I think we belittle it.
Okay.
So what we say is that we have come to dignify waste collection. Where you find people in uniform, not going to police or military, but sweeping. You understand? So people are well dressed and they are sweeping. And that is what they are doing. But the next level of it is the sustainable infrastructure, for waste management, where you collect and you don't just go and dump it at a landfill site
you make something out of it.
But you make something out of it. That is why we have these waste treatment plants in all the 16, regions. And what does it do? It's a compost and recycling plant. One, we do material recovery. And in recovering the material, we realize that about 60% or more of the waste that is recovered is organic.
Okay.
So that is what is then, treated and recycled into a compost to feed the agri sector. Government is talking of food, planting for food and jobs. So it feeds that sector. If it's well, managed, that is what is going to feed that sector.
Create the manure and all
exactly,
that.
Exactly. The next level is plastic waste.
Okay.
Now, plastic waste is about 14% or more of the waste that is collected. All right, and what we are doing, we have a recycling plant. So the next level of waste management, which we are moving away from, we are not moving away from, but we are there, but moving to the next level.
Next level, yeah.
Is the treatment. It's the recycling and treatment. And that is how come we are happy that governments of Hungary and other companies, other countries are supporting us in this. Because the machines, for instance, that we use for integrated recycling plants is from Austria. You know, and we are happy to be doing that. And it's not just the solid waste that we are collecting on the street. We're also doing liquid waste treatment. So, for instance, I don't know if you remember Lavender Hills.
Yes.
Back in the days.
Yes.
You have to go there before COVID happened. So COVID thinks that it's the one that is bringing us nose mask. When you were driving through
Lavender Hills,
Lavender Hills, nose mask or nose mask, you have to cover your nose.
You for cover.
Wow.
I mean,
But
you guys are doing a great job.
Yes, it was a 100-year-old problem, but we solved it. Today, people at the time, people were discharging from their trucks into the Kole Lagoon directly, and that's what was causing all the odor. Today, by the new facility that we have, which was established in 2016, people discharge at least close to about 300 trucks discharge on a daily basis at that place. And we are building similar facilities in Takoradi and Takwa, and then Kumasi is almost complete.
It's almost complete.
Yes, and we are trying to revamp the Tema had one, a sewage system, but its sewer system has had issues. So we are trying to revamp that as well.
Wow.
That is the level that the whole world is going, moving from collection to recycling and treatment, and that's what we're doing for them.
And would you say the government has been supportive in all this?
Extremely. And we are very grateful to the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for his visionary leadership in creating the sanitation ministry, which has given focus to sanitation. And it was, initially it was just in other, ministries, but now it's given its focus, and we are happy to hear that they are trying to come up with this sanitation and pollution levy, which we believe is a sustainable way of financing sanitation in the country. And we are also grateful to the minister then and minister now, Madam Cecilia Abnadapa, for her support. I think that they have seen the vision, they've bought into it, they know that is the way to go. And then we're also coming up with the 1 million bin campaign. We believe that at least 1 million homes in Ghana should have a bin. You see, the thing about waste is that we, as a people, our culture is to create waste, collect it, and then put it in a bin. Can we teach people to create waste and put it directly in the bin? There is a receptacle. There is a receptacle for that bin. And that bin alone has the ability to create jobs, because as we speak right now, those who are distributing the bins, we have young ones that have been brought on board to register people in their homes. That has created a job for them. Once they're done, others are going to distribute it, because the registration has to be done. We have to be sure of the data before you send it. And the beauty of this bin is that it is RFID tagged, as in it's being tracked, and we are expecting more than 100 trucks to come in.
And so you're digitizing the system so much that
we have digitized
we will
it.
find you and get the waste.
Exactly. So it is if I were not having my own already, I would say that I will run and look for and make sure that I get one of those. That is the way to go now. I mean, it's like the oomph of the day.
One request though. I mean, I think the last time I was in the US, I did see something that I really loved, how they label their
segregation.
Yes, the segregation. I think it makes collection easier.
Yes.
And so a lot of the things that maybe we can make something out of will not, because it's funny how waste is a resource.
Yes.
But you can put your waste in a deplorable state by mixing the wrong ones.
Yes.
And so if we can get to a level where maybe Jospong will take it upon itself to move to that direction where we can label them. We have bins in town. These ones are for paper waste. That's for plastic. That's for food waste. So it makes it easier for all of us.
It does. But you see, the dynamics of it is that, one, we have one truck collecting everything. It is a very capital-intensive exercise. By all means, we should encourage waste segregation. It makes life easier. It makes the plastics neater and easier to deal with. But the good news also is that the machines that we are using for our recycling and composting plants has the ability to sort the waste.
Sort it out.
Yes.
Oh, that is even perfect.
Yes. Oh no, we actually did the research ourselves, sent the machine our ideas to the people to build it to suit our
system.
environment.
Because the truth is, even if we bring that out, as you mentioned, people will collect the waste and keep it somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, because then that means right from where we make it, we need to drop them in the particularly labeled ones.
Exactly. And if
but then now, because our system is such that people just collect, put it all together, and then come get it,
yes,
then the machines will just do the work for us.
do the sorting.
We're still
So
there.
a place in the UK, for instance, there are days for picking organic waste.
Yeah,
Days for picking plastic waste. And I know that's what happens in most of the advanced countries. It's quite capital intensive. We have started it, but we'll get there. We'll
get there. That's the word.
definitely get there.
So far, enough of your work. Let's get back to you. What legacy would you want to imprint on the minds of especially the very young ones, the ones that you come in contact with at your work, at home? What would you want them to remember you for?
Someone who cared and loved them. Someone who loved them so much and cared about them. Someone that made them believe in themselves. I always say that when I meet people, I want to give them an experience, like a brand. You're looking at brands that gives you experience. What does it make me feel? How do you feel when you come into contact with me? You know? So my legacy for the youth, for me, is that kind of experience that I want to give them.
Yeah.
I want them to believe in themselves. Know that God has brought you here for a purpose. You might not know it now. It's like putting a seed of a grain of maize into the corn into the ground.
Into the ground, yeah.
All you see is just a single, but look at how big it comes out and what we get out of it. So for now, we might not know what we carry, but we carry so much. And it's important that when we keep our focus and we learn, you'll be amazed how that will be pulled out of you gradually. And then that small, seed will become the big trees that we see around. I believe that that is the kind of experience I want to give people. I want to give this legacy of where, don't you know, when somebody mentions my name, Sophia, I want to, everybody around you should smile. It should be, hey.
That's the impression I'm getting on Facebook, guys. The comments I'm getting on there,
Wow.
people are shocked I even know you. It's my job, guys. It's my job. I mean, I'm privileged like that. So for young ones especially,
Yes.
women aspiring to venture into comms, communication, PR, what would be your advice to them based on your enormous experience, gathered over the years?
Love the job.
Okay.
Love the job. Don't lose your passion.
Okay.
It's not an easy road, but people have worked on it, so you also can.
You could do them.
You go do them, you go fit do them. So I am one that quickly adds that it's not a rosy road. It's not a roller coaster. There are things here and there, but see it as part of the learning period. I tell people that when you ask me, so what are some of the challenges, what are your regrets? No, it's never been a regret. It's been a learning point. No matter how dire, it's been a learning point. See yourself as the face of your company. Love that company. Imagine somebody coming without a face. You can't even imagine it. It's so scary.
Yeah.
You'll be wondering, how is he working? Is the face at the back or what? Well, I mean, you are the face of that company. Love the company. Have passion. Have passion. There will be issues. There will be challenges. There will be stuff. Don't run away from it. It's all come together to make you who you are. And that is what makes you eventually, people say, why are there power? What did you do? Something must happen for you to get there.
Yeah.
Bible says he's comforted us so that we comfort people. Now, if you have not gone through anything, will you be comforted?
No.
You must go through something to be comforted.
You must.
So they should not feel shy to ask. They should learn. They should learn. They have it in themselves to achieve anything they set their minds on. There are great women in PR, Faith, Shirley, Madam Esther, one of my all-time, mentor. We have the J. Finn. J. Finn gave me a beautiful, information when I was coming, for this. And JFIN, I'm so grateful. And there's so many of them. There's so many people, young ladies out there doing great things, Joyce, so many of them. And you have people, Bible says, some have gone ahead, so we can learn from them. We are here. Ask. Just ask. Don't be shy to ask anything. Anne-Marie, is she Anne-Marie? Yes. I mean, I have these young ones who will call you, and I say that, look, till today, if I'm given an assignment, and I feel that this one is like Nkoye Papa, I will call anybody. Yeah. It doesn't matter who you are. I will call you. Oh, Charlie, have you done this before? Can I see what you have done? Can I do some small copy, or walk me through how you did it? There is vulnerability. It's not a weakness. There's absolutely
nothing wrong with it.
No. So they should be ready to learn. They should be humble. They should be. Humility is key. They should humble themselves. They should humble themselves. They should love the brand they're going to sell. You should see the way Shelley sells Shell. I mean, you want to just go and do Shell stuff, and then Cynthia, these young ladies are doing great things. There are so many people in the system already. You have a multitude of witnesses ahead of you who are ready to cheer you on. Just ask. Don't be by yourself.
Don't be an island.
The beauty of PR communication is the relationships that we build. We believe that business has moved from transactional to relationship. And we are the lifeline that is going to build that relationship for our companies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
It's been a beautiful journey. One last question. We're supposed to take about 4 questions from our listeners and viewers. Due to time, we might not be able to do that. But there's one that caught my attention. Somebody wants to find out what should inform the kind of answer you give when you go for a job interview and you're asked, how much do you want to be paid? Should you look? Do you look at the company, the suits the board members are wearing? Do you look at your expenses? How? What kind of answer do you give?
There's always that temptation to look at the people and begin to price yourself. You know what you're taking now. It might not be what you are expecting for yourself. As much as possible, give yourself like 30 or 50% more.
Okay.
Of what you are taking now. Okay. If the job is, of course, you will not leave a lower job for a much lower one.
Yeah, you go for a
higher. You're going for a higher one. So try and do some 30%, 50% in addition. Some companies are honest enough. They will tell you, oh, we'll give you more. Okay, okay. Some will just take you by your word and give you whatever. But at the end of the day, your value will show, especially when you are doing your work so well. If that company does not even pay you what you are worth, another company that values value will pick you and give you much more. I know people who have gotten jobs, they did the best they could. Another company comes with it, they pay them double.
Double, yeah.
So at the end of the day, look at the job as not just building that brand or building that company, but you are also building yourself. Because when they say, oh, we want people with 5 years experience, when you get there and you have just been working through, when you get there at the interview and on the job, you realize that I was just working through, I didn't make much out of it. And that, what sits in you is what is going to push you to the next level. If you are not heavy enough, you get there and you will struggle. You will struggle because you've taken on a heavier responsibility. And so you should be heavy enough to carry that, So, but don't go and overprice yourself. Some people think that, hey, Jospong is a big place. Let me go and say I want $50,000,
$5,000. Give me $10,000.
Don't overprice yourself. Don't overprice yourself. But one last advice to the youth.
Talk to us.
I want the young ones to go into politics for me. When we say the future belongs to the youth, who is making the policies? Who is making laws? Who is making what? It's those in parliament, those in government who are doing it. If the youth want to take over the nation and build it, by the way, what is the vision of Ghana? What vision of Ghana do you have for yourself? the youth. When we say the youth, are they individuals or there's how are we building them up? How are you building yourself up, to prepare to take over? The future belongs to the youth, but it belongs to those who have prepared themselves. How well are you preparing yourself? And don't shy away from politics. People say it's dirty. Yes, it could be dirty. Go dirty yourself. Just that be civil in your language. And some of the things I tell you, it comes from home. It comes from home. If you have been trained by a Free Dakwa, like my mom, you'll be careful when you go out there and you're talking. You know that you just can't open your mouth and insult anybody. So parents have a responsibility in training our young ones. And young ones, be humble enough to learn. But whatever happens, prepare yourself and go into politics. I love to see more young people in politics.
Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank you so much for the
Kudjordji.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope this is the first time I'm mentioning it wrong.
This is the first time you're mentioning it wrong, yeah.
I'm overwhelmed by the things that I've learned today. It's been an inspiring journey, I won't lie. On behalf of my listeners, the station, I'd like to say a big thank you to you.
Thank you too so
Thank you so much for being who you are. Thank you for experiencing all the things that you learned. I believe it was for this purpose and more.
Exactly.
And we're looking forward to seeing you sometime soon. Our doors are always open. And I mean, after this, we'll start a conversation on how we can join in the fight against, waste in Ghana.
Yes, because attitudinal change is one of the major problems. And I think that
and we need to propagate the message.
And I must commend the media for what they have done so far for our companies in fighting this corona and the waste. And the media has been so awesome. We doff our hearts for you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Guys, that was Sophia Kudjordji, Acting Chief Corporate Communications Officer for Jospong group of companies. She was my guest today on the Leaderboard Series. I trust you enjoyed it. You know what? I still want us to keep the conversation going. So hashtag Leaderboard Series. Any bit of the interview you loved, kindly post it on there. If you want to interact with me, Rev Eskin GH, I'm still on there with you till whenever. Are you on Twitter, Sophia?
I think I am, but I can't remember my handle.
So we'll find the handle and then, let my listeners know. It's all good. But
Facebook.
You do have it.
Oh, yes, I have it. Once I received tweets, but I look for it and I can't remember. I have to call my guys.
Don't worry, I'll show you. Just text me. I'll take you through it. I'm one of the people. Twitter.
It's today.
I did. My vibe did that side. So over the dog, guys. Might have to steal a little bit of time from Shouts on Y team. Let's make some quick money, and then after that, we'll come through with Shouts on Y. Okay.
Congratulations, you found the one station that plays Ghana's best urban music.
YFM.
Listen to YFM 107.9 Accra, 102.5 Kumasi, and 97.9 in Takoradi.